The Kingston Mills Murders, Honor, Treachery, and the Shafia Family Trial. June 30, 2009. The quiet waters of the Rideau Canal in Kingston, Ontario, Canada, became the scene of a crime that would shock the nation and expose a deep-seated cultural clash. 4 members of an Afghan-Canadian family were found dead inside a submerged car near the Kingston Mills lock. The 3 young sisters, Zainab, 19, Sahar, 17, and Geeti, 13, along with their father's first wife, Rona Muhammad Omar, 52. What was initially reported as a tragic accident quickly unraveled into a conspiracy of horrific intent. The focus soon turned to the girl's father, Mohammad Shafia, his second wife, Tooba Yahya, and their son, Hamed. This is the story of how an elaborate honor-killing plot was uncovered, leading to one of Canada's most complex and scrutinized murder trials. As always, my name is Cody. I run this channel with my partner Katie. Welcome or welcome back to the Case Files. A reminder, if you do find today's video interesting and informative, be sure to like and subscribe for more true crime stories told by yours truly. Now, grab a snack and a blanket and let's dive in. The Shafia family murders took place on June 30, 2009, in Kingston, Ontario, Canada. The Shafia sisters, Zainab, 19, Sahar, 17, and Geeti, 13, along with their father's first wife, Rona Muhammad Omar, 52, all of Afghan origin, were found dead inside a submerged car in front of the northernmost Kingston Mills lock of the Rideau Canal after being reported missing. Zainab, Sahar, and Geeti were daughters of Mohammad Shafia, 58, and his second wife, Tooba Yahya, 41. The couple also had 4 additional children, including son Hamed, 20. Rona was Mohammad Shafia's infertile first wife within their polygamous household. On July 23, 2009, Mohammad, Tooba Yahya, and Hamed were arrested on charges of 4 counts of first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit murder under the guise of an honor killing. The jury found them guilty on all 4 counts in January 2012. The trial, which took place at the Frontenac County Courthouse, was believed to be the first in Canada to be conducted in 4 languages: English, French, Dari, and Spanish. In 1978, Mohammad Shafia married Rona Muhammad. The couple did not have children, and medical tests confirmed that Rona was unable to have children. In keeping with Afghan custom and at Rona's behest, Mohammad Shafia took Tooba Yahya as his second wife. The second wedding took place in 1988, and many of the wedding photographs feature Shafia flanked by his 2 wives. The 3 of them lived together in one household, and Tooba gave birth to 7 children. Rona participated in raising and caring for the children and bonded with them as though they were her own. Her relationship with Tooba was less than idyllic. The Shafia family left Afghanistan in 1992. They moved to Australia for a brief time. Later, they relocated to the United Arab Emirates, where they lived for over a decade. Mohammad Shafia made a considerable fortune in Dubai, working in the used car business and later diversifying into real estate. By 2007, he was a multimillionaire. He soon decided to take advantage of an immigration program introduced by the government of Quebec in Canada, which offered permanent residence and eventual citizenship to people who invested significant money in the province. Shafia invested $2 million in purchasing a strip mall on the outskirts of Montreal. He invested a further $200,000 in building a spacious new house for his family. Shafia, his second wife Tooba, and their 7 children immigrated to Canada and settled in the St. Leonard borough of Montreal in 2007. 5 months later, Shafia sponsored Rona's immigration, telling authorities that she was his cousin and that she would work as a cook and housekeeper. According to a family member's interview, Rona was trapped in an abusive, loveless marriage, trying in vain to convince her husband to grant her a divorce. Rona's siblings claimed that she feared for her life during the days leading up to her death. Tooba allegedly said to Rona, "You are a slave. You are a servant." Reportedly, the Shafias held all of Rona's identity documents, including her passport, so Rona believed she could not flee to another country where she had relatives. The Montreal Gazette reported that Rona emigrated to Canada as a domestic servant on a visitor's visa, and that her husband and co-wife held the visa's renewal over her head like an axe ready to fall. The interviewed family member also stated that the Shafia family's eldest daughter, Zainab, was in a relationship with a Pakistani boy that elicited much anger from her father. The family member claimed to have overheard the father's threats to kill Zainab. With Mohammad Shafia, Tooba Muhammad Yahya, and their eldest son Mohammad Shafia all in custody during the trial, the remaining Shafia children, 2 girls and a boy, were being cared for by social services. On June 30, 2009, a worker at the Kingston Mills locks discovered a black Nissan Sentra with a broken left taillight submerged in the water. Divers discovered 4 female bodies floating inside. Mohammad Shafia was at the Kingston police station to report that 4 of his family members, 3 teenage daughters, and a purported aunt were missing. Police initially believed that it was a tragic, if bizarre, accident. They first categorized it as a sudden death investigation. However, authorities soon learned that Hamed had reported an accident with the family Lexus SUV in an empty parking lot earlier that same morning in Montreal. Despite their suspicions, authorities did not have reasonable and probable grounds or sufficient evidence to ask a judge for a search warrant. Kingston Police Detective Steve Koopman, the liaison with the Shafia family, managed to gain the Shafia family's consent to view the Lexus. After assessing the damage on both vehicles, police theorized that the Lexus was used to ram the Nissan into the locks. It had been reported that the Shafia family purchased the used Nissan Sentra for $5,000 on the day prior to the family leaving Montreal for Niagara Falls. Jury selection began on October 11, 2011, and the trial officially began on October 20 the same year. Ontario Superior Court Judge Robert Moranger presided over the trial. On January 29, 2012, after 15 hours of deliberation, a jury found each of the 3 defendants guilty of 4 counts of first-degree murder. In Canada, first-degree murder verdicts carry an automatic sentence of life without the possibility of parole for 25 years. The murders gave rise to the debate about the relationship between honor killing and Islam. Islamic organizations based in Canada condemned the murders. The Islamic Supreme Council of Canada, along with other Canadian Muslim organizations, have publicly denounced domestic violence and honor killing as un-Islamic. Ali Falih Al-Tayi, the family imam, said that the murders were unforgivable. He also cautioned against associating honor crimes with Islam, calling the actions incompatible with any religion. In 2012, imams from across Canada and the U.S. issued a moral ruling officially condemning honor killings, domestic violence, and misogyny as un-Islamic. 34 imams belonging to the Islamic Supreme Council of Canada, including a handful of American members, signed the fatwa in an effort to counter misinterpretations of the Quran. In an interview with CTV News, the Afghan embassy in Ottawa condemned the murders of the 4 members of the Shafia family. The embassy called the deaths of the 3 teenage sisters and their father's first wife a heinous crime against humanity. Moreover, they claimed that this kind of crime is not part of Afghan or Islamic culture and is not acceptable in any way. Hey there! Before you take off, we'd just like to take a second and say that we really appreciate you sticking around to the end of the video. Katie and I are so grateful for the incredible Case Files community, so thank you for being a part of it. If you want to help the Case Files continue to grow, one of the easiest things you can do is leave a like on this video and consider subscribing. Be sure to hit that notification bell as well and select all notifications to stay up to date with our latest releases. We want you to know that we truly appreciate every like, sub, share, and comment that you send our way. Once again, thanks so much, and we hope to see you soon.